Yeah, just go live and drop that. You know what I mean? Killer Priest. You know what I mean? Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Shout out to Killer Priest, right? I think he's on top right now. I mean, I just be mellowing out, chilling, and listening to his music. Because it's like the realest. Like he's the one that's like, I'm retired. So I'm just gonna drop these bars over these dope beats and just let it do what it do. And I'm impressed. Right? Like everybody else trying to, you know what I mean, be something that they not. And I'm saying that with no disrespect. I get it. We all gotta find our character and make sure that our character class is dope, you know. I am rebooting myself as being the dungeon master. So, you know, it's fun. At the same time, I gotta put my crew together, and I'm having the most difficulty doing that because everybody be fronting, you know. This is Volothan Modulus Tautology. I'm about to drop some, you know what I mean, a little fun with y'all, have some fun with y'all, you know, and you know, enjoy life. You know, that's what you're supposed to be doing, especially today. Today is Saturday, right? Or in Espanol, we say Sabado, right? That means it's the Sabbath. So we're supposed to be just giving thanks and relaxing and you know what I mean, giving praise and all due to one God, or, you know, putting God first. Do what you do, you know. Tomorrow's Sunday. And then a lot of people use that as the day of the Sabbath. And, you know what I mean? More power to you. I'm going to treat it like a Sunday. You know what I mean? Like it's the first day of work. So I'm going to get some work done tomorrow and then enjoy the Super Bowl in the afternoon. Evening, should I say. I already got my chicken wings, and I'm going to make sure I take them out, throw them out. I'm going to let them marinate this time. I'm going to marinate my chicken wings and make sure they righteous, so that I can enjoy them and while watching the game. Yeah, I'm you know what I mean, without the Eagles in it, I really don't have any body to root for, should I say. But yeah, I want Seattle to win. I'm a kind of, I guess I'm rooting for the Seattle Seahawks to win their second Super Bowl, so that we both have 2 Super Bowls under our belts, and then next year we just got to do battle for that third one, us against Seattle Seahawks, you know, and let it do what it do. You know what I mean? We'll get our team together. I'm about to call Jalen Hurts right now and let him know, yo man, chill out, man, relax right now, enjoy the game, enjoy your family, and then Monday morning get back to work. You and AJ and you know, and the receivers get out there, just run some drills, and then, you know, chill out and go back to y'all families, and then Tuesday do the same thing, right? Until next season, you know, making sure y'all in y'all right mindsets and ready to win the third Super Bowl for us, you know, Philadelphia Eagles fans. So. And I get it. It's, you know, especially from the ladies, they don't care about no football. They don't care about. They do like basketball because they do like the ballers, and you know that's just how women do. Football has always been, you know, the fellas, you know, up in the mosh pit banging each other around like, you know what I mean, at a Kendrick's concert, right? I wish I was at one of them joints this past summer. They was like some of the dopest looking. You know what I mean? Everybody in the crowd just jumping and bumping into each other and enjoying life, and, you know what I mean? Forgetting your ethnicity, should I say, right? Because that's like one of his first tracks. You know what I mean? Shout out to Kendrick Lamar, right? So I ain't doing nothing. I'm just chilling, man. I'm not, you know, I just figured I'd jump on, give y'all a good 10 minutes or whatever, you know, just to get another live up on there. I got a lot of thumbnails to work on. And in that way, I'm gonna get my thumbnail game up and then promote my work that way. Look at the thumbnail, look at the work, listen to the lyrics. Am I saying something that took your mind to another level, then hit that like button, subscribe, share. I'll be back with more and more and more because that's what I'm trying to do. You know, I made the mistake of sharing that little kid with a sign that said, you know, and it was directed straight at the Democrats, asking for, you know, some reparations, you know, and a lot of people like, you know, stop begging, you back up, right? Just because I say hit the like button, subscribe and share, like I'm not begging. I'm like, yo, just promote me. And then I look at YouTube and be like, yo, see, I'm getting the likes, I'm getting the followers, I'm getting the subscribers. You know what I mean? Cut the check, YouTube. Like you want me to do 100 million videos saying the same thing, one God, our Father, all the time, hip hop life. And you know what I mean? And y'all ain't paying. Right? And I know the people, y'all, as soon as I say Cash App, $ Volo Thump, it's like, oh, now you begging. Like, all right, back up off me, right? Like I'm not going to reciprocate, right? All right, no problem. Don't even worry about it, right? Do what you do. I'm going to do what I do. And I'm going to let it do what it do because that's how I do. So, you know. But yeah, I got it on the screen here. Let me kill the music and see, share this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding real quick. Hit the pause button on that. You know, that's a nice little loop though. They probably copyright came in. This is all fair use, 1960, whatever year, 1975, I think it was. Copyright laws, you know, just for educational purposes and all those things. That's why we do what we do. You know what I mean? For educational purposes. So on the screen, I got the definition, the fundamental definition, and I got this from this. So I really can't. I shouldn't say this the fundamental definition because I got it off of ChatGPT. That's my new thing. Like, all right, let's see how ChatGPT define the universe. You know, so that's why I've been asking it a lot of questions, whether it be psychologically, philosophically, or epistemologically, even metaphysically. I throw it at the computer and the computer just be like, that's very interesting. I'm like, oh, you don't know what interesting means, yo. Fake fronting like you got emotions and right. So we all know the truth, but you know, they are disguising these computers like, you know what I mean? They human beings, right? Yeah, they are the non-binary. That's what we're trying to help y'all understand, right? And I mean that is when we get into the prefix non and how it's not the same as not. Not we use and that's what the definition I'm about to share right here. Not is what we call an operator. Is that what they call it on here? Let me see the definition they got on here. And I'm just gonna run it. Or they do call them operations. Let me select. Let's do this like this. So bear with me 1 second. I wasn't really prepared. And if I go over, I go over a little bit. I'm trying to just do 30 minutes and then I'm gone. So all I have to present to do is a part of this presentation shouldn't take that long, but you know, here we go with the definition for Boolean algebra.
Boolean algebra is a mathematical system for manipulating variables with only two possible values, true, 1, and false, 0. Developed by George Boole, it forms the foundation of digital logic, computer programming, and circuit design, using fundamental operations and conjunction, or disjunction and not negation, to evaluate logical statements.
There it is. So as you can see, it's three operators that she defines, or not she, but let's say that the computers is not he or she. That's what I mean by the computers are kind of non-binary. And we saying he or she if we're just dealing with one digit, one bit, one, binary digit. Since we're individuals, to truly analyze male, female, you need at least 2 bits. And then that's when we get into the use of these operators that she just mentioned. So that you're comparing male or female, male and female, or not the case of, male or not the case of female. Like, and then we see the toggles going on and and how it actually works. But when you have when you have 2 bits, you have at least 4. We'll get to the color theory later on, but 4 different outcomes, and those 4 outcomes depend upon um, the solution of such operations, or between 2 bits. Um, there it is. There it is. I don't want to. I don't want to add too much more, and then that's when things get a little complicated. Shout out to the new people on my Facebook page. I'm gonna put my list together that way I can just run down the list instead of saying Jody Sykes every week or Tez Dunn, because Jody and Tez, and then Diane Richardson, they the ones that brought this out of me. I used to just write and just throw it out there in the universe. I didn't want to get on the microphone. Like even when I was DJing up at WRKU, I usually just let Dust do all the talking. I was trying to learn how to blend and all the equipment, and what I could and couldn't do, and then getting tutored by shout out to Cool Kyle, because he's the one that, and Mark. What was Mark's last name? Because I thought about that earlier. One of the problems from when Kutztown, now I'm going back to my college life, just real quick. And since we are foundational Black Americans, I rather use that terminology than American descendants of slavery, and whatever. Let them do what they do. The African is not a slave is the first thing that we're trying to establish. And brown, deep reddish brown Amerindians were here before 1492 is what we trying to help people understand. And it's like, well, we didn't know the population. Is like, dude, we just started doing these censuses, so like all that, they murdered all the deep brown Indians, and they separated the Indians from the few Africans that they brought over, right? And all that, they brought over millions of Africans, and then we disproved that by if you have cargo ships with hundreds and hundreds of Africans on it, and what is the chances of all 500 or whatever crazy number y'all want to come up with actually making the trip? And it's like, well, at least 5 of them maybe, right? Like, what I'm saying, it's not profitable, right? If you can't get that kind of cargo over here. So all this immigration is actually a new thing. That's when 1965 is when they started coming over like crazy, and it's like, yo, slow it down. Let it roll. Let yourself go. Slow and low. That's some Beastie Boys right there. See how they pop in my head sometimes? And my son does the same thing, but it's usually Sonic the Hedgehog. So shout out to him. He released a new video, and et cetera, et cetera. Oh, let me share this other fundamental definition. Well, the one that came up earlier, I'm just going to share her voice on it, because it was it's actually what I was saying, and I'm talking about benign neglect with this other picture that I shared, and everybody got so caught up in. I'm letting you know, y'all got caught up in the snow bunny. Like, y'all got so caught up in the snow bunny that it messed up with your feelings, your emotionalisms and stuff. Like, the fellows was just like, snow bunny or a slice of pepperoni pizza. Like, dang, it's swine either way. And then y'all missed the joke, right? Like, I'm just joking, right? So, because brothers, the 5%, they don't eat that pork. You know what I mean? Me, I'm like, give me that pepperoni pizza, right? Snow bunnies are a dime a dozen, and especially in America, right? So, but and it's like, you can't joke like that. Like, that's the problem right there, right? That's the problem. Let's do this benign neglect real quick.
Benign neglect is a political term that originally comes from U.S. policy debates in the late 1960s. It meant intentionally doing very little about a serious social problem, based on the belief that active intervention would make things worse, or that the issue would somehow resolve on its own. When people talk about benign neglect toward foundational Black Americans, FBA, they're usually making a critical argument, not praising a policy. Here's what they mean: backhand index finger pointing down. The core idea: it refers to a pattern where the U.S. government and institutions acknowledge historical harm to Black Americans descended from U.S. slavery, but avoid targeted, corrective action, while still claiming neutrality or fairness. So the neglect is called benign only in name. The impact is not benign at all. How it shows up in the FBA context. Critics say benign neglect looks like broad, race-neutral policies that don't address specific historical damage, slavery, Jim Crow, redlining, celebrating diversity or immigration while sidestepping reparations, or lineage-based remedies. Framing FBA disparities as cultural or individual problems rather than policy-created outcomes. Saying time has passed or everyone is struggling, even when data show persistent, unique disadvantages. In short, recognition without repair. Why FBA advocates object to it. From an FBA perspective, benign neglect treats inaction as moral neutrality, allows inequality to persist while avoiding political risk, benefits from past injustice while refusing responsibility for correction. Many argue it's worse than open hostility, because it sounds reasonable and calm while maintaining the status quo. One-sentence summary. When applied to foundational Black Americans, benign neglect means the deliberate choice to do little or nothing about historically caused racial harm, while presenting that inaction as reasonable, fair, or unavoidable. If you want, I can also compare this to reparations debates, explain how it differs from colorblind ideology, or walk through concrete policy examples people point to. Just say the word.
And that's Chat GPT again, I guess that's Siri that's talking. Because I am, running the voice translator on my phone. So, and I might change it up to a male. I'll think about it. I like the ladies read. So, or, but it's actually neither male or female, right? Actually, to be honest, right? There's no real differences in gender besides, what we're taught, right? Thusly, the mental health issues begin. So it looks like I'm at 17 minutes in. So I did a good job, I think. And I'll go into more detail on what she was just talking about with the benign neglect. Now, what y'all missed is like she ran off all that is said when I asked her the simple question on benign neglect versus foundational Black Americans, and we'll get into more why foundational Black Americans started with 1526 as our date. That was one of the first revolutions, or should I say, slave revolts, right? When the natives came and saved, a handful, a dozen, or whatever Africans from a Spanish colony and freed them, and they joined the local, tribes. So it is, you know, it is what it is, right? So we'll get more into that date. I think it happened in October or November. So we'll find a date, and hopefully I'll have a couple of other minds that come together with me on that, and we can put a date to actually celebrate that, that event, I guess, like we do with Juneteenth. I never had beef with Juneteenth. It's just with Juneteenth, it was I really felt a certain way when white people came up to me on June 19th talking about some, hey, happy Juneteenth, like you the one that freed me. Like, nah, that's the problem right there. Right? That's what Kwame Ture was saying with his Black Power speeches. Is like, we got to get rid of this fallacious notion that white people got the power to free anybody. They don't have the power to free anybody. That's whack. That's corny. So when I shared the picture of the girls talking about the snow bunny talking bad about Barack Obama, you know what I'm saying? It's like, well, what are y'all crying about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in the story of Animal Farm, the pigs was the evil ones, right? And guess what? That makes Barack Obama the pig. We'll get more into that later on too. But what I want y'all to notice when she ran through all that, she slid something in there real quick, and you got to have a real good ear and in hearing when she said it. She said it's not benign at all. like, yeah, we talking about it, but they just started saying foundational Black American. They've been saying ADOS for the longest time, and ADOS is usually associated with the 1619 date, which may or may not have been a slave ship. It might have been just a ship of African royalty, right? Because it wasn't, we weren't all slaves. It was African royalty that came over and was welcomed into the community and became and had a Thanksgiving, just like they said the original Thanksgiving was, because you just can't have all war. You have to have moments of peace in order to build. There it is. So this is Skyrim, and Oblivion is coming out soon. So I'm excited because Skyrim, like I have Skyrim already, so I did buy it again. I'm sorry, but I think how much I pay for this? And in the end, I end up paying a little bit more than I wanted to. It was on sale for the initial game for I think $12. That's why I was like, I gotta get it because it's $12. And that way I can play it on my Switch 2 on the go because I still got a lot of work to do when it comes to my computer and what is that Steam Deck or whatever Steam. I got to get my Steam count up to date and everything, and then I can start playing like a lot of games that I bought real cheap too, like Tomb Raider, et cetera, et cetera. And I can kind of upgrade my computer, or actually, I want to build a brand new one to be able to run those games real good, and because this Switch 2 is my last console. And what else is I never was an Xbox fan. I was more PC than Xbox. Oh, this is talking about the mouse mode. So I got to work on that too. Press any button, and we going to do. So we'll just let that run a little bit. What time is it? 22. So let me try to do 30 minutes. I'll do a good 30 minutes and I feel good. It looks like I got a viewer out there. Shout out to you. Let me see if I can see who the viewer is from this other screen. Let's see. It says private chat. Nah, not that one. Record. Nah, I can't. I know that's on Facebook. It might be my cousin. Shout out to you, Deb. I got comments. Here we go. Comments. We are here. We are. Oh no, that's on. That's my son. Hey son, how you doing? We are here. So that's my YouTube one. All right, cool. That's what's up. So my son is watching me on YouTube, and yeah, I'm playing a little bit of Skyrim for everybody, just to show the beginning of the game. If you was here, well, Skyrim's rated R, so I don't want you playing any rated R games yet, son. I want you to build up to rated R. So I am excited about. I'm getting more and more excited about saying Animal Farm. The original movie was only rated G, and when I was in 7th grade, I think the teacher shared that movie with us and got fired because of that. Mr. Farrell, I think his name was. Shout out to Mr. Farrell. If you still, he might have passed away, I think, too, when, back in the day. But Mr. Farrell, I think. Then we got Mr. Roca right after that. So even back then, he was a Russian immigrant. So even back then, we was getting immigrants and all types of craziness in elementary school. And I went to a Roman Catholic elementary school. So there it is. There it is. I'm supposed to know. It's running. You can't hear it because I don't have it all networked up like that. I do see where I can go into my OBS and then go into this screen. So I'm gonna learn how to rewire that, because the OBS software is where I can bounce around my studio a little better than I can over here. Over here, it's more, I can, add people to the broadcast um, on the sides of the OBS and everything, I think. But we're looking at that and figure all that out too. So much going on, and me trying to figure it out, and and share some of that information with y'all. But as far as hip hop, I'm chilling. I love hip hop, and that was a cool little Killer Priest loop that I shared. I'm not going to share too much music today, I don't think. Where is it at? Let me see here. Yeah, that was cool. Let's... Yeah. Know who I am. Sacred Ground by Killer Priest. This is another Sacred Ground by Killer Priest. Replay. I should drop some of his lyrics on here too, but I don't know the lyrics to these songs yet. These are his newer songs. What else should I play? I don't know. It is what it is. Let me see here. From here to Nubia. Nah, I can't do Keith. Can't do Cool Keith on y'all yet. That might be too much for y'all. Large Professor, ooh, that would be nice. Little Brother, yeah. Lupe Fiasco. Y'all not ready for a lot of this stuff. Master Ace, Ed O.G., Maxwell, MCA, MF Doom, of course, Michael Jackson. You can't Missy Elliott. And it's like, Michael Jackson's not hip hop. Yes, he is. NWA, Nas. This is my shout outs to all the goats, right? New Edition, Nucleus, Nico is. Yo, man, I like your music, yo. I'm gonna drop some more of your work too. Nipsey Hussle, OCNAG, the Notorious B.I.G. Who else we got here? Onyx, Outkast, Pete Rock, and Camp Blow. Ed O.G. Sky, I already said Ed O.G. They got Pete Rock got to join with Ed O.G. Okay, Sky Zoo, PD Pablo. Okay, the Far Side. Fonte. No, can't forget Fonte. Planet Asia, I shared him yesterday. Portishead. Let me put some Portishead on here. Oh, we gotta do some Portishead. I only got one Portishead, John. Oh, this is corny. Well, I only got one. Yo, this is crazy. There it is. Me trying to mix stuff at the same time. There it is. Portishead. Oh yeah, this is where I make my character. My bad on the Skyrim. So, yeah, one of the things that I've been, being facetious about, when they talking about like black fatigue and white fragility, those are white leftist talking points. That's what I want people to understand. It's like it's the white leftist pointing at the white rightist, or the the racist that they say is racist, and saying that they're tired of hearing you. That's why you don't see a nation, like you don't see nations like Wakanda being promoted in theater and things of that nature, and in video games. Like as I play more of all these older video games, you'll notice that it is a lot of England references when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons, like Tolkien, So it is like all white cast, and you know what I mean, it's like, where the black people at? Like we weren't in England at all. I thought Othello was a Moor that was married to a white woman, like, you know what I'm saying, like. And it is so even in that you'll see a population lie, you know, and how it worked even back then. Like their dominance had been so much since year zero, the year of our Lord, that even the Hebrews was Italians, I guess. So, but we'll get more into that conversation as well, because it wasn't until like Final Fantasy VII that we first got our first token black guy that you can, and then more recently where you can create your characters with brown skin. Like, so one, like this game, for example, is like one of the first games where you can customize like the different races. And then this is funny because I'm like, let me see. No. Gotta use this controller. Okay. So the orc is black too. So yeah, you see the different races, right? Might be Mexican, right? The high elves is he look kind of creepy, don't he? And then Australian, maybe, But yeah, that's what I mean. So I'm gonna create my character, and I'm going with the native, the red native, right? The red guard native. So I'm gonna create my character, and then I'll share him and everything, and I'll go over his character class and all that at a later date, and then build him from there, and then share Skyrim whenever I can. I'm not gonna be playing Skyrim around the clock. I'm more in the Dragon Quest 3 right now, so expect more shares of Dragon Quest 3 soon, because I'm really enjoying that game. That's a nice game. And then also Dragon Quest 11 is really, but that one's all white. Like, so that's when I'll be like, do I have white fatigue and black fragility? Like that was the question that I posed when we do the juxtaposition of things, and then get confused with that and the actual mathematics of life. So there it is. All right, let me get off this microphone. Let's see here. Knowledge it begin until I finish this song, cause the rhyme gets rougher as the rhyme goes on. Sweat as you step about to get hype, or should you just listen to the man on the mic? You're physically here with me, but how could you tell if you're not mentally as well? Messed up, -5 points. It's all well. It's all good, right? I wanted to do some hold on, what's the one? Dead prayers. I want to do some dead prayers. Oh, which one would I want to do? Dang, I forgot. I took a note on that. I tried to take a note on that too. Now I forgot. Jeez. Not they schools. It's bigger than hip hop, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. Hip hop. One thing about music, when you hit, you feel no pains. We don't better than that. I want to double time it. That's corny. Plus, I ain't really sharp on my bars. My killer. Well, anyway, that's it. I'm over time. So let me get off this overtime. This has been another quick message by myself and you, because I get a lot of my ideas from y'all, and I'll do another shout out show to everybody that's been inspiring me to grab that microphone and spit these dope bars and enjoying life and loving God, our Father, all the time. Hip hop life. Nothing beats a mother love. One God, our Father, all the time. Hip hop life. Mother love. That's God is love. Hip hop is life. Time is precious. Money, that's nothing more than that fourth dimensional illusion that really don't exist. Because it's actually hip hop. That's the art of making the most out of life. Keep thinking it's economics, because it kind of is, you know. But there's more to it than that. You got to have that harmony. That's what gives you happiness. And most importantly, peace, solidarity. That's unity. I had fun doing this one today. So hit that like button, subscribe, and share. I'll be back. I might make one just to throw out there. And, you know, I mean, I'm sure I'll go live tomorrow for a second. You know, but y'all do good. Y'all do good, okay? There it is. One God, or God first. Yo, this joint is crazy, right? Let me.
Please, could you stay and share my grief? It's such a
Oh, pour this head. I'll holler at y'all later, okay? All right, one.